Greetings everyone! Welcome to issue 2 of Sonic Boom! Before I begin, I might as well tell you my thoughts on the other Sonic Boom media. The cartoon? Enjoying it so far. Rise of Lyric? Never bought it. And Shattered Crystal? It's an okay game, it could have been better. Now that I've gotten that out of my system, let's review this issue. But first... The previous issue had 2 robot attacks, one of them stealing Tails' house. Both were defeated, but throughout the ordeal, Knuckles was acting like a moron, and Amy was constantly calling him out on it. Knuckles had enough and decided to team up with Eggman. So, what now? This issue starts with our heroes fighting Eggman's robot. That is to say, the first robot from the last issue. Yes, folks, we have some deja vu. Those sticks, won't she ruin her teeth like that? Anyway, Sonic realizes that they are doing the same thing, including logoing, I don't know if that's a word, help me out people, their names. This time, Eggman's name is included. Sort of. Wait a minute. Sonic said that the name logos were a first issue thing. You lied to me, Hedgehog! Moving on. Tails calls out Eggman on the robot's sloppy patchwork. Eggman tries to explain that it's still a threat and it has a new secret weapon. What is it, you may ask? Why, it's Knuckles the Echidna. Sonic thinks he's here to help, but Knuckles instead captures him in a tiny cage. Why so tiny, you may ask? I have no idea. And at the same time, he's declaring that he is now working with Eggman. Tails flies in and tries to remind Knuckles of all the times the big guy needed the Fox's help. Yeah, Tails, back then he really needed some help. Tails gets caught in the net, and Styx built her own cage to capture herself. What? Okay. Yeah, folks, she is weird. Amy calls Knuckles out for this betrayal, but Knuckles basically explains that this is all her fault, calling him dumb and all that. You know, Amy, he does have a point there. And Amy recognizes her mistakes and tries to apologize, though she still calls out Knuckles on the Eggman team-up thing. And what's happening with Sonic here? What appears to be a standoff ends with Eggman's robot placing her in another tiny cage. Eggman's next agenda is to either conquer a village or destroy this village so he can eat some pork chops. In the cargo area, seriously, Sonic's gone a bit crazy. Knuckles explains that this is all a scheme he came up with to prove to the others that he is not an idiot. Amy points out the major problem with this plan, and Knuckles realizes that he is an idiot. Amy says that this could have all been avoided if they talked out their problems, and wants Knuckles to release them. Knuckles, however, is too depressed to care. Tails comes up with a reverse psychology ploy, saying Knuckles' plan was brilliant. This motivates Knuckles to get them out of this mess by confronting Eggman and leaving the team behind. Styx escapes, remember, this is her own cage, folks, and frees the others. Knuckles confronts Eggman with more name logoing. Eggman forces Orbot and Cubot to stop Knuckles, with predictable results. Knuckles makes his way out and starts playing Stop Hitting Yourself with the robot. Eggman can't take anymore and retreats. The others escape, to Knuckles' disappointment. Tails gives a nod, and Amy then pretends to be in danger so Knuckles can save her. And after all that, Amy still apologizes, and Knuckles agrees to let her make plans from now on. Orbot and Cubot are stuck on the beach, but Knuckles tosses them back to the retreating robot. So everything seems to be okay, right? Sonic's finally calming down, everyone's joking around, and Amy's in a panic. Wait a minute, Amy's in a panic? Yeah, that's right, folks, Amy's gone nuts, digging around the area. Why, you may ask? She lost her hammer. For a quick reminder, she dropped it when Eggman slammed that small cage on her. This issue, I didn't enjoy as much as the previous one. The main problem is Knuckles' convoluted plan. He said himself that this was to prove to the others that he was not stupid, but as the others pointed out, it made him more of an idiot. It was only by his friends playing along that ultimately he stopped Eggman's robot attack. Also, the experience made Amy realize how much of a jerk she was towards Knuckles. Now, this situation with the Eggman team-up could have been avoided if they talked this out. As I said earlier, I've seen the cartoon, and part of Amy's personality is mediator, getting people to talk about their problems and finding peaceful resolutions. Heck, she got Sonic, Tails, and Eggman to talk about the roommate conflict in one episode. I did like that the talking situation was brought up, and that it could have avoided all of this. But then, we wouldn't have any conflict in this issue. On to some other character observations. Sonic. Oh boy, is he addicted to speed. The running kind, people. I honestly don't know if I find this amusing, sad, or stupid to see Sonic in such a state. What do you think, audience? Tails' role here is pretty much Amy's in the cartoon, mediating. In fact, he instigated situations just to make Knuckles feel better. Sticks, I believe, is the smartest of the group this time around. Sure, she's weird making her own cage, but Knuckles and Eggman fell for it. Plus, she can free herself from said cage. This means she saved Sonic, Amy, and Tails from Eggman and Sonic's craziness. And then there's Eggman himself. You know, whether it's Boom the cartoon or Boom the comic, Eggman's easily the best character, and that's just my opinion. Look at him trying to explain his patchwork, and right here, folks, having to decide a village's fate based on if he wants to eat pork chops. This guy really loves his pork products. First there's this.
I'll be back with a new robot who has an accurate name and super laser eyes, and he'll feed me ham. Evil ham.
And then the pork chops. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bacon reference down the line. So to take away from this issue, Knuckles really is dumb muscle, but he just wants respect and admiration from his friends. And for that, I will give this story a 7.5. Tune in next month as we see the crew try to find Amy's hammer. I'll go more into this next time, but this is another difference between Main Amy and Boom Amy in terms of hammer storage. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, have a good day and be safe.